2020 Fiscal Court meeting. We're glad you're with us, as always. And we will begin, as we usually do, with an invocation. Please join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, please look over this Fiscal Court as we make decisions for the community. Please guide us through your all-knowing hand. Please watch over our citizens. Please watch over our first responders. Please watch over our military personnel here and overseas. Please protect this community as we deal with terrific challenges. And we ask all this in your holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance
to the flag
of
the United
States of America,
and to the republic
one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Can you please call the roll?
Master Putman.
Here.
Master Berry.
Here.
Master McCullum.
Here.
Master Moran.
Here.
Master Southern.
He's not with us. We hope he is safe in South Dakota. You have before you the minutes of the July 28th, 2020 Fiscal Court meeting. After a period of review, I'll entertain a motion to approve those.
So move.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion by Magistrate Putman, a second by Magistrate Moran. Any other corrections, clarifications, or additions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you. First up, we have with us Crystal Childress from Audubon Area Community Services, who are going to give us a quick update on a food program that we hosted last month, I believe, Crystal, and it was very successful, and we're going to get to do it again. So with that, I'll turn it over to you.
Yes, I'd like to do it maybe next week or the following week. Last time, Bill Hubiak helped. He basically done everything for us, and Keith Berry showed up. I would like to have more participation with our magistrates to come out and possibly help get some of the food out into the other areas of our county. And last time we did split it with Union and Webster County. I think we have enough people in Henderson County that we could get a whole truckload just for our county, but with the help of the magistrates and all the individuals in Henderson County to volunteer to help get it out.
We'll send your contact information out to our magistrates after the meeting's over. And what you're talking about, Crystal, is fresh produce.
Yes.
That is donated by who?
It is through the CARES Act. It's actually where a lot of the farmers in Florida, they, due to the pandemic, the USDA come in and purchased the produce and is paying for it to get out into the community instead of just actually letting it just sit and rot in the field. So it's actually a very good program. And each semi-trailer load it is estimated value at $44,000.
And you brought a trailer load into the fairgrounds and had a distribution point at the fairgrounds, yes. Correct?
Well, it was actually up at the road department. Bill said he didn't see any sense in moving it twice from where they unloaded it, and it worked really well with all of the road department. I believe the fair department was there along with the recycle, and they were able to direct traffic, and it just really worked well.
Good, and you were able to hand out all the food that was available?
Yes. And the road department actually loaded some up and took it to our assisted living at Red Banks Towers and Regency. Was a great help.
Good. Well, let us know the exact date and time you work out. We will help publicize it. And again, we'll send the magistrates Crystal's contact information if you want to be involved at all. Okay. Thank you very much. That all you got, Crystal?
Thank you, Crystal. Do you think
Yes.
this might be an idea, and I'm not sure it would work. Would it be possible to pick up a few boxes maybe in my truck and take it out to my district in the different communities maybe? Would that help?
Yes,
Or is that
sir.
possible?
That would be awesome if I could just get, people to say, hey, I'm coming to get 30, 40 boxes. Come pick them up.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I'll make sure it all got handed.
yeah, that worked, Keith. I tried that last time, matter of fact.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Crystal.
And again, we'll send you Crystal's contact info in case you want to make your own arrangement with her.
And I am writing for a grant right now. It's along the same lines, but it will be frozen meat coming from, it's coming from the ranches out in the Midwest where, they publicize that they can't get it into the packing. And so if that is the case, would everybody be willing to do along the same lines of having the semi come in and get that delivered, get it set out?
I think we're up for anything that
Sure.
can help our community. So, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Crystal,
Thank you.
Well, Crystal, one more time, what date? I know you said you couldn't pin it down exactly, but just kind of a ballpark date. What was you looking at? What date?
I am waiting right now for the dispatcher to give me a call and let me know what dates are available. So I
Okay.
should know this afternoon. And
Okay.
since I'm utilizing all of Bill Huviak's staff and his
Got it.
area, I'll probably just coordinate that with him, what works best for him.
Okay, thank you.
Crystal,
Yes.
Kenny Garrett with Emergency Management. Hey, I was wondering if there's anything emergency management could do for, to help with getting the word out, distribution, things like that, as we move forward. And if there is, please call my office and we'll discuss it.
Okay. All right. That sounds great. Thank you.
Okay.
Anything else for Crystal? Thank you very much, and thanks for all that Audubon Area Community Services does for Henderson County. Next on your agenda is a request from Innovative Workflow Technologies, and both Bernie Hogan and Linda Frank, the principals in IWT, are with us to present to court their request for some information from our health insurance groups that they hope to use to develop some tools that may benefit both Henderson County and other entities. And I sent a copy of their request agreement out with your packets with a brief explanation, but I also thought it'd be great for Bernie and Linda to be with us today to again present what their idea is here and take questions. So with that, I'll turn it over to Bernie.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Many of you guys know me. And if you don't, I'm Bernie Hogan. I live in Henderson. And I own a company called IWT. We're a healthcare analytics company headquartered in Henderson County. Today with me, I have Linda Frank, who's our CEO of IWT. Say hi, Linda.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay, we're here to talk about two things. One is saving healthcare dollars for Henderson County. The other is HIPAA and data security. And then what we're going to do is open it up to questions. So we believe we can save the county between 8 and 12% of their healthcare costs. To do this, we'll need at least 2 years of claims data. We'll take this data and we'll run it through our analytics engine, looking for medications, procedures, wellness checkups, chronic conditions, employee deductibles, and overall costs to the county. Most people don't know that it can cost less to buy medications, lab work, procedures without using their health insurance at all. Healthcare costs vary widely depending on how it's paid for. Our goal is to help Henderson County employees on how to get the best value for their healthcare dollars. For an example, my wife is taking a Tylenol, Simple Med, a lot of people can't have it. By using our Blue Cross Silver plan, our deductible is $45 for a 90-day supply. By using a free prescription card you can get off the internet, such as like GoodRx, our cost went down to for $9 for a 90-day supply, a savings of over 80%. without using our insurance whatsoever. These are just example of what some of the things our analytics engine can do for more, and it can do a lot more complicated situations. We're looking for basically just to see if we can help the county with costs. Linda, could you talk a little bit about data security?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. All right, so my background is health information management, so I have lived and breathed privacy and HIPAA requirements for protecting patient information my whole career. So I'm sure you're concerned as well about if you do release this information to us, that we're adequately protecting it on behalf of your employees. So first of all, let me say that we deal exclusively with healthcare. So we live and breathe healthcare, PHI, we work with it all the time. Our staff work with it all the time. We know all the things we need to do. And in our software development applications, which are all around clinical data, we have all of the security measures that need to be built into those applications done. So we even had a nursing documentation system that we built that got meaningful use stage 2 approved, which has a lot of security requirements embedded in it. All that said, we are going to protect this information for you. We have executed a BAA, a business associate agreement. Mr. Gold and I have worked closely on putting that together so that it meets your requirements. We do have BAAs with all of our customers, and they lay out all of the things we have to do to protect the privacy and security of your patient information. The data that we're going to run through our analytics engine is going to be on a server that is located in a hosted environment, a company called CyberCon. They have a lot of organizations use them, including financial institutions, which is the epitome of important protected information. So they're very secure, and they are SOC 2 certified. For if there's any techies in the room, you'll know what that means. The data that we return back to you after we run it through our analytics engine will be in aggregate form. We will not be giving you back any PHI. It won't be patient specific. It'll be more along the lines of clinical groupings of patients. So for example, you have 40 asthmatic patients in your population, and here are some trends we're seeing with them. So we're not going to be sending anything back that's patient specific. And then lastly, when we're done with this project, we will delete all that data off the server so that it's no longer in our possession or in the possession of anyone who can get at it. So that's just kind of a high level. You may have some additional questions. Bernie, I'll turn it back to you before we open it up for questions.
That's basically about it, unless let's go to questions. What kind of questions do you guys have?
Just
Bernie, can I ask?
Yes.
go ahead.
Okay, Bernie, Charlie McCollum, how are you doing? Haven't seen you for a while.
Nice to see you, Charlie.
I guess okay, I'm on Medicare and through Humana. I just recently had cataract surgery. The total bills for each eye was like $40,000, and they paid $5,000. Can you tell me how I got such a good deal?
Oh, that all varies. A lot of times, like in Medicare, you have to have some supplemental insurance. I'm not an insurance expert. I've just learned a lot about this just recently. But there's a lot of things we can do. Like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with a company called MD Save. MD Save is a company that you can buy procedures based at Medicaid costs. So for instance, to give you an idea, my son had a CT scan and we have Blue Cross Blue Shield Silver Plan. Is it covered? Yes. He went in, had a CT done. They sent him, his deductible was $1,700. He got a surprise bill, which is a whole nother story, for another $763 to read it. And then the insurance was actually billed by the hospital, $8,317. If we would have went directly to the hospital and wrote a check to them, they wanted $1,106 for it, complete, out the door, cash. If I would have went to MD Save and looked it up there and bought it from them and got a voucher, and they are very big here in Henderson, we could have bought that complete test and read and everything for $471. So those are some of the things I'm looking to teach people.
Charlie, this is Linda. The other thing I would add to you is what you're seeing with that 40,000 is the hospital charges. So they charge like these like ridiculous rates, but then nobody really actually pays those because all of the insurance plans, including you as a county, have probably capitated payments that you worked out that say they're only going to pay X amount for this procedure or for that procedure. So I think that's why you're seeing you got such a good deal, because you guys as an organization or whoever is your intermediary for the insurance struck a good deal with the hospital on what you'll actually have to pay.
Right, and the poor people that don't have insurance, they get charged a full whammy if nobody's negotiating for them, and then they get sued and get that large bill, and they're paying it for the rest of their life.
You're right. It's a terrible situation.
And ambulances and helicopters have no caps on what they can charge, none. So they could charge you. Oh, it's terrible. Some of these things that are going on today.
And
most people don't know.
Before we go down the road of how capricious the U.S. healthcare system is, which is a whole nother conversation.
Right.
I'd like to focus on this agreement. And if you would allow me to kind of summarize what you're asking, Linda and Bernie, is that you're in the middle of developing this product for IWT, this analysis product, and using our group as kind of a proof of concept for you, correct? And what you're asking of us is to allow you to use our group, because it's fairly sizable, and it's handy. It's right here in your hometown. And that in exchange for this access and allowing you to, hone in your algorithms or your analysis techniques, you're going to give us in return your analysis for basically nothing, no charge. And you hope to use this eventual research to maybe develop a product that you could sell not only to us if we chose, but to other groups and municipalities and companies. Is that all correct?
That would be correct.
And so that's something for us to consider. I think it's very interesting for us to let Linda and Bernie analyze our claims over the last couple of years and see what they come up with, see if it's valuable enough to them that they can develop a tool that they'd like to develop for it. And anything that helps a company here in Henderson County is always nice. My one concern when Bernie broached this was they're diving even deeper than the normal analysis group. And some of that may bring up HIPAA questions, but the agreement that was in your packet is very specific about their responsibilities with that information, what potential penalties could be if they don't do what they're supposed to do. And even though it's impossible to shed all liability for the county in this situation, they have done this before, these sorts of BAA agreements, they've done it before. It's not that unusual, but it is new for the county. So, and I will say that Steve Gold and Mr. Hogan and Ms. Frank worked on this agreement. They traded requests, and the agreement that was in your packet reflects the very latest requests of Mr. Gold, and they are agreed to by Mr. Hogan and Mrs. Frank. And Kyle, anything you want to add to that?
No, Judge. I know Steve worked with them. I reviewed it with Steve a few times on the HIPAA, the county's House Bill 5 policy, confidentiality policy. All that was added in there. I know Steve has worked with them to make sure, to the best of our ability, to protect the county. So it is approved of form and legality. At this point, it is up to the fiscal court to decide whether to proceed.
So
that was going to be my next question. I'll make a motion to approve in that case.
I'll second it.
we have a motion and a second. Any other questions?
Need to backtrack, sir, and actually read the resolution that goes along with it.
Yeah, let's read the resolution, then we'll take a vote.
Resolution authorizing Henderson County Judge Executive to execute business associate agreement with Innovative Workflow Technologies Incorporated for health claims analysis and consulting. whereas Henderson Fiscal Court has a self-insured health care plan for its employees that represents significant costs to the county, and whereas Innovative Workflow Technologies Incorporated, hereinafter IWT, is a local healthcare industry business that believes it can data formulate cost-saving strategies after a one-time analysis of employee healthcare claims data. And whereas the Henderson Fiscal Court wishes to authorize ITW to access health insurance claims data for static analysis and consulting. And whereas the Henderson Fiscal Court understands that it is essential to ensure the security of all protected health information and claims data in strict compliance with Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996, as amended hereinafter as HIPAA. And whereas the Henderson Fiscal Court deems it in the best interest of Henderson County to enter into a business associate agreement with IWT under HIPAA. Now therefore be it resolved that as Henderson County Fiscal Court authorizes and directs County Judge Executive Brad Schneider to execute the attached document entitled Business Associate Agreement and to execute any and all other necessary and appropriate documents required to effectuate the intent thereof.
We have a motion by Magistrate McCollum, a second by Magistrate Putman. Any other questions? And let the record show Magistrate Southern has joined us and was able to hear this conversation. So hearing no other questions, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. And Mr. Hogan, Ms. Frank, I will send you a signature page reflecting today's date, and we wish you the best of luck.
All right.
Thank you very much. You have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You should have had in your packets a draft of the bylaws of the West Kentucky Coalition. And I'd like to take a moment during this meeting to update you on that organization. I think in the past I've briefed you on the idea that cities and counties in the 3 West Kentucky ad districts, the Green River Area Development District, the Pennyrile Area Development District, and the Purchase Area Development District, are working together to create an advocacy group made up of counties, incorporated cities, and interested partners to help advocate on behalf of our region of the state and to make sure that our representatives and senators both in Frankfort and in Washington keep in mind the priorities of our region, understand the priorities of our region, and are held accountable for working towards the priorities of our region. I have worked on the organizing committee with the judge executive from Hopkins County, Jack Whitfield, the judge executive from Crittenden County, Perry Newcomb, and the judge executive from Marshall County, Mike Neal, to develop these draft bylaws. Over the next month, we're going to be introducing them at our area development district meetings, describing what the coalition is all about and sending the information out to judges and mayors, and also anybody else in the community, such as chambers of commerce or economic development organizations who support the mission and want to be a partner in some fashion. Included in these bylaws are some information about a dues structure. We are going to ask that members meet a dues requirement to create some revenue in order to fund the activities of the coalition. Eventually, we will hire a part-time executive director and also hold events and or make trips to Frankfort or Washington to advocate on behalf of the region. So we felt like we needed some revenue. If you look at the dues schedule, you'll see that it's graduated based on population. It'd be $1,000 for counties 30,000 and over, I believe, and cities 10,000 and over, and it drops from there. Yesterday, Jack Whitfield, judge executive from Hopkins County, as I said, introduced this to the Pennyrile Area Development District Board of Directors, and there was a very positive response. Tomorrow, I'm going to be giving this briefing to the Green River Area Development Green River Area Development District Board, as well as making calls to mayors and other officials in our region to introduce them to the coalition. And then later this month, the same thing will happen down in the Purchase Area Development District. What I would like is, number one, to answer questions anybody might have about this, and two, eventually seek approval to go ahead and pay our dues. But at that, I will open it up to any questions anybody might have. I believe it is a terrific step forward for our region. One of the things we've noticed, and I've noticed, and maybe all of you have noticed over the years, is that our colleagues in Eastern Kentucky tend to hang together very closely on issues in Frankfort and Washington that affect Eastern Kentucky. Even though they may disagree at times on local projects, when it comes to the big ones that affect their region, they are very much in lockstep, and they express themselves that way during the consideration of issues in Frankfort. I think Northern Kentucky is also very unified in that way. I don't know that Western Kentucky, especially those counties west of I-165 or the Natchez Parkway it was known, have been as good at being locking arms when it comes to big projects that impact us all. There is a Western Kentucky caucus in the legislature, but that includes every county west of I-65. And I'm not sure the counties in the I-65 corridor even consider themselves to be Western Kentucky counties. So I think that the Western Kentucky caucus maybe isn't as effective as it could be sometimes. So after lots of discussion about this over the last year, several judges now are deciding we need to take our own steps to make sure our voices are heard in a unified fashion in Frankfort. And this is what this is all about. On September 23rd, we're going to have a informational meeting, basically our first board meeting. All dues-paying counties and incorporated cities, their executives, either the mayor or the judge executives, will be board members, voting board members, and we're going to have our first board meeting on September 23rd in Madisonville to help get this off the ground, get everybody going, adopt the bylaws formally, elect a board, and just get this thing moving. And we're looking forward to that. But I wanted to bring it here today to give you all an update, to say that eventually I'll be asking to pay our $1,000 dues check to this organization. It's an annual dues. And again, to answer any questions or take any comments you want me to pass along.
Judge, just a question. This is essentially just another leg of economic development, trying to bring some focus to what would generate some of that along with the chamber. And
I wouldn't say exactly the same thing. You know, economic development focuses on business matters and industrial recruitment matters. We will be working even beyond those parameters. There will be other issues besides economic issues that we'll be talking about, I'm sure. Now, economic development is certainly one of the priorities, but it goes even beyond that. Does that make sense, Master?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you're even maybe venturing into some legislation or something that you'd be looking at that could possibly bring some focus to us.
Yes.
In the western part of the state.
Right. You know, sometimes policies impact different regions of the state in different ways, and we want to make sure, just as an example, that anything that Frankfort does, help them understand how it impacts Western Kentucky and West Kentucky, not just think of it as a one-size-fits-all solution. But sometimes there are unintended consequences with legislation that aren't thought through and have a different impact on our region than, say, Northern Kentucky. So we'll be going into that. I will say we do not intend to step on the toes of local chambers or economic development agencies. We hope we partner. We're going to try to stay with 30,000-foot level issues and try not to get in the weeds on details. There are plenty of community organizations that do that. But for the top, half dozen things that West Kentucky really worries about, we want to have a voice, a unified voice of counties and cities surrounding those issues. And as you all know and you feel, we are where the rubber meets the road when it comes to state and federal policymaking. We have to carry out many times those directives. We have to deal with the costs of those directives. We have to deal with whatever discrepancies or shortcomings those policies have. And since that is true, we feel like we should have a voice in expressing how those things are going to impact us, expressing what our priorities are, and do it in a unified voice that's not just a couple counties or a couple cities, but 30 counties and 90 cities. So that's a long way of answering your question, Butch. This will go beyond just economic development.
Yeah. Thank you, Judge.
Anybody else? Any comments, questions? Does it sound good?
Sounds
Yes.
good to me. Yes.
I move we pay the $1,000.
But I haven't asked it yet. I mean, I appreciate that. If you want to go ahead and basically approve our membership in the organization, I'll take that as the intent of your motion, Magistrate Putman.
Sure,
I'll second
that's
it.
fine.
I think Magistrate Moran seconded. Don't want to steal her thunder. Is that right, Magistrate Moran?
Yes, I think that's a good idea.
I appreciate that. We'll keep you posted on how this goes. Again, the board will be made up of the judges or mayors of the dues-paying counties and cities or their designees. Initially, I will be attending the meetings on behalf of Henderson County, but there may come a time when one or more of you may be involved as designees. And I do also believe that any of our board meetings, any of our sessions can be attended by, attended anyway by any magistrate, any citizen. These will be open meetings. So just so you know, if you're truly interested in finding out what's going on, you'll have meeting information. So any other questions before we ask for a vote? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you very much. We are going to move the petition for county commissioners down to the bottom of our agenda and address that in a moment. Next, we have resolution for the sheriff declaring some property as surplus. Anything you want to add to this, Sheriff Brady? It's a vehicle, I believe.
Yes, Judge, it's a vehicle that needs to be retired.
Yeah, I imagine you've worn the heck out of it, haven't you?
Well, we've done our best. We got a lot of money.
That's all we can ask. I make a motion, we approve. Second.
We have a motion by Magistrate McCollum, a second by Magistrate Berry. Any other questions about making this 2012 Ford Expedition surplus item?
Judge, there is a resolution to be read, and I'd just like to clarify the method of disposition. 670802 does require that. Is it going to be online, Ed?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, thank you.
Read the resolution, please.
A resolution declaring certain county property to be surplus and providing for the disposition thereof. Whereas the Henderson County Sheriff is in possession of property that is no longer of use to the Henderson County Sheriff's Office or any other departments within Henderson County, unless noted on Exhibit A. Whereas the fiscal court has reviewed the list of properties submitted by the sheriffs, setting forth the item's description, original purpose, and reason for disposition. Whereas pursuant to KRS 67.0802, the fiscal court finds that it is in the best interest of the county to deem the property as surplus and provide for the disposition thereof. As such, the Henderson Fiscal Court, which is to offer said personal property be sold by public auction or by selling for scrap or disposing of as garbage. Now therefore be resolved by the Fiscal Court, County of Henderson, Kentucky as follows. Pursuant to KRS 67.0802, the personal property of the Henderson County Sheriff's Office listed on Exhibit A, which is attached here to and incorporated herein, is hereby declared to be surplus. If Exhibit A designates the personal property to be offered for sale at an online auction, it shall be sold using a duly advertised online auction pursuant to all applicable laws at such times and in such manners as shall be arranged by the county judge executive. If Exhibit A designates the personal property sold for scrap or disposed of as garbage, the Henderson County Sheriff shall make suitable arrangements for disposition thereof and shall forward any proceeds, if any, to the Henderson County Treasurer to be transferred to the general fund pursuant to KRS 67.0802, Section 6.
Do you have a motion and a second? Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposed? While we got you, Sheriff, also included in the packet is your annual settlement. I know that since I've been judge, the staff in the Sheriff's Office has been meticulous about settlements and have excellent audits. Anything you want to add to any discussion about the settlement, Sheriff Brady?
But just our ladies in the front window do a great job. They balance this year within 15 cents on several $1 million. And I keep on pushing them. I said, next year I want that 15 cents found, but they do a great job and under some really trying circumstances. So I'd just like to thank them for their service and their accuracy.
Ed, can I take them the 15 cents after court?
Well, it's 15 cents to the good. We got to give it to somebody. We can't take it.
Oh, no.
We got to give 15 cents away to balance that. They did a great job. I really appreciate the job they do.
And just for perspective, while they came within 15 cents of absolute balance, what are the tolerances normally accepted by the state, Ed?
Well, I asked an auditor about a year ago, I said, how far off do we have to be before you would initiate an investigation? They said, well, in the $20,000 range. So, and our clerk told me that this 15 cents is basically off because we have to round some numbers. So probably they were closer than that, but I'm just very, very pleased for the accuracy of our employees. I hope the public understands. We take this serious and we try to do a great job and keep up with their money. And we're way off that $20,000 threshold that they start getting nervous about.
Make a motion to approve, second, or accept it.
Second.
We have a motion by Master McCollum, a second by Master Ferry, I believe. Any other questions of Sheriff Brady on the annual tax settlement? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. Now we'll go to Treasurer Brenda Ryder for her report.
I am formally presenting my annual settlement, which you have received a copy of, for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2020. This details the revenue sources and appropriations for the fiscal year. Again, that's meeting the formal requirement to present it.
Yeah, this is the official document we send into the state and DLG, just telling us, showing them exactly how our fiscal year ended, June 30th. Any questions of Brenda Ryder?
No, I move we approve.
It does not have to be, there's no
Okay.
motions need to be made on this. It's just already, it's formality. This has already been submitted to the state.
Any
Got it.
questions? Good job, Treasurer Ryder. Moving on, anything else?
I have no transfers. I do have claims. From the general fund to best one in the amount of $755.30. This is for sheriff auto repairs and is to come from the sheriff's vehicle appropriation line. To Evansville Hyundai in the amount of $16,598. This is for a 2020 Hyundai vehicle for the sheriff's department's process server. This is to come from the sheriff's vehicle appropriation line. Also from the general fund to Magistrate Barry in the amount of $2,156.30. This is meeting the he has met the requirement of the magistrate's training incentive. This will be taken from that appropriation line and is to be paid with the August 2020 payroll. From the jail fund to Advanced Document and Solutions in the amount of $1,274.94. This is for copier lease agreements and is to come from the data processing equipment line. Also from the jail fund to Old National Wealth Management in the amount of $20,725. This is for the interest payment for the Series 2017 bond, which was for the kitchen project at the detention center. That's all I have.
And those are all budgeted.
Yes, sir.
Move to pay the
accept
claims.
the claims.
We have a motion by Master Putman. Mr. Southard, do you want to make the second?
Yes.
Second by Master Southard. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, for the petition for county commissioners, I have given a deadline today of noon for the submittal of the total number of signatures that have been able to be collected on this issue to fiscal court. We are going to recess now until noon, that noon deadline. At that time, representative of the county clerk's office will come up and hopefully give to Magistrate McCollum the petition to see if they got 1,200, and then we'll make a declaration at noon whether that has been met. Then I will make an executive order if that's the case, putting on the ballot for November, contingent on the county clerk's office verifying that all 1,200 signatures are from registered voters who live in Henderson County. So what I'd like everyone to do is to get back on this Zoom meeting at noon sharp. And hopefully that will only take about 5 minutes. We'll consider that question and then adjourn.
Judge, just from the procedural standpoint, I think just a motion and second and a vote on taking a recess would probably be appropriate since we are hitting the pause button. And I'll also recommend to leave the Facebook Live rolling just so that when we do get back on, people can join back in.
We will leave the Facebook Live feed up with a message to everyone that we're going to be recessing until noon, and we'll be starting the meeting again.
Brad, are we going to do the good of the county or anything before we recess?
We can, yes. But let me make sure anybody has any questions about that, or anybody have any fear they can't rejoin this meeting at noon. Well, let's go through good of the county, and then we'll take the vote to recess. So, Master McCollum, if you want to start.
I would love to. I want to thank everybody. We have the best court that I can imagine. I have not. There's things that have happened to me in my lifetime while I was county attorney and judge that caused me to run for this position. When you had magistrates said they couldn't read a financial statement, that sort of shocked me. And when we got in bad financial shape, and they admitted they couldn't read a financial statement, I'm thinking, this is fiscal court, that means financial responsibility. And then when we had a fiscal court that met for the budget for 3 or 4 hours and agreed to it, and then came back and sort of blindsided the county judge by voting against it, that hurt my feelings, and I didn't like that, okay, because that's not the way we're supposed to work. In the past, I have seen those kind of things, and I've seen the magistrates, for personal reasons, vote against the Hills project. And I was a new county attorney. The magistrates were all mad at the people that were for this change of government. And I apologize to my citizens. I didn't have the guts to stand up and say what I thought. And I'm ashamed of myself for that. And that's why I've gone out to do this now, to bring the issue back up. In all reality, we needed 22 new signed petitions today. We've gotten 3. I doubt seriously that this is going to pass or make it. All I can do is try. But at least I brought that issue up, and we can do it. You all have been great. I don't know of a single thing any of our magistrates have done. The only problem with this thing is if this doesn't pass, you're going to have to try. I'm going to try to make you put up with me for another 4 years. So if I would not run against any of you guys. And I mean, I will support you all when you run, and either way. So it's been such a pleasure to work with, 4 other magistrates and the county judge that are working together for the betterment of Henderson County. It has been just fantastic. So I just wanted to say that, and I apologize, but I got one more thing I'd like to say. I had a sheriff's deputy come up to me the other day while we were taking this, and he understands why we can't do the hazardous duty, because we would have to go back and assume all the liability from the past, and we can never get off of it. And he understood that. But he brought up that if we could think about doing that 401k thing that was done in the past, he said that was really good. It meant a lot to him, and it might mean a lot to the deputies. That, you know, it's not easy to get deputies and people to work right now. So just a thought, maybe in a couple of months we might want to review that and see where we stand financially after the COVID and see, because we got good employees, and I want to be there. You know, if we can, we can. That's what I'd like to say.
Thank you, Master McCullum. Master Moran.
I agree with Charlie. This is a wonderful group to work with. I would also like to thank everybody for wearing their masks. There's so many wonderful masks now that it's difficult to not.
From 443.
Sorry about that. But anyway, I would like to, again, thank everybody for wearing their masks. There's so many wonderful ones out there. If you're not happy with one, you can find one that you would really like. And all's well in District 2.
Thank you, Master Putman.
Thank you, Judge. Just a comment about the commissioner thing. You know, change is inevitable. We all understand that. May not like it. Again, I think it all basically goes back down to what I told Beth Smith at the Gleaner. You know, you really got to be careful these days and look at who you're voting for. You know, but 3 may work, 5, you know, and I'd agree with what the other magistrates have spoken to, but this is a great court. We've had our hiccups in the past, but going forward, whatever it is, we serve at the will of the people. You know, if it goes on the ballot and it passes, so be it. We'll deal with it then, and it obviously, we hope, not obviously, but we hope that things can make it better in some fashion. Other than that, Judge, all's good in the fourth. Thank you.
Thank you, Master Putman. Master Southern.
Yes, I want to apologize for being late, but I crossed the time zone and didn't realize. So I'm in Rapid City, South Dakota, so I'm an hour off. But I'd like to talk about the only thing that concerns me about the new form of government that's being proposed is I'm really afraid that the rural areas, the places out in the counties could be neglected. But being in a district like we are, I mean, I represent my district, and it could end up with us having elected officials from the city, which really don't have any idea where Uniontown Mount Vernon Road is. And it just, that concerns me that we wouldn't be represented like we are now. I also understand what Charlie's saying as far as having problems in the past, but like Butch said, we watch who we vote for, and we try to make sure we get the right people in. I think we got a great court, and I think we can continue that as long as the people of our communities are diligent in their voting. But other than that, that's all I have. District 3 it was good when I left. I guess it's still there.
Thank you, Master Southern. Master Berry.
I think everybody said everything that I was thinking about. But going last, Charlie, I appreciate your work. So we do have a good court. I thank everybody that's on the court. I'm still studying the commission form of government. I'm not kind of, I guess, in the middle. Charlie has good ideas. Butch and we all do, I think. So I'll leave that at that. But I think everything's going pretty good. I spent a lot of time looking at roads in District 1. I think Tim has in his district. We probably need to talk about blacktop at some point. I think it's easy to say we never have enough, but we're trying to make it go, put it in the best places that we can, I guess I'd say. So we'll talk about that in the future. Other than that, I think we're in pretty good shape. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, and that reminds me that Bill Hubiak is with us, county engineer. Bill, anything you want to add to that conversation or anything new you want to throw at us?
Yes, sir. Judge, I'll be meeting with the officials from Rogers Group either this afternoon or tomorrow to discuss the plans for finishing up Ohio Drive road widening project in the industrial park, and also for putting together our numbers on our budgeted asphalt and how far it's going to take us within the county. I spoke with you briefly about possibly being able to increase our blacktop expenditure this year. Once I have the data together from all the districts on how far it will go, we can then sit down and intelligently discuss the possibilities of expanding it.
I did talk to Mr. Hubiak yesterday about the prospect of maybe increasing our asphalt allocation. We'll be exploring that as we go here. He'll be reporting back soon, as he said. We have with us also Kenny Garrett, the EMA director. Kenny, any updates?
Not at this time, Judge, other than the fact that, Bruce and I are still just doing day-to-day resource requests and getting that stuff out to the various departments that are requesting it. And everything's kind of going pretty smoothly right now. So hopefully we'll stay that way through the rest of this. We're not out of it yet, though. Thank you.
Thank you. And Coroner Farmer, I think your vehicle is now up and running. Is it basically complete?
Yes, sir. We have the vehicle up and running. We haven't finished the last bit about it, about putting some shelving inside and getting the radio installed. But yes, we are using the vehicle now. And I thank the court for that. We're trying to find a couple of part-time guys to drive it for us and going from there. Unfortunately, I was one of the people in the county that got COVID-19, and I was out of circulation for a couple of weeks, and we had a problem develop up at our office that I stuck with you about. I'm sitting in a room with a bunch of jokers. But we'll be talking about it in the weeks to come, and we'll have everything together. And I thank the court for its support.
Bruce, to wrap this up, I will say that next time we will try to break up this bullpen here in the conference room, and maybe you'll do a better job of distancing. Manager Southern and I recently attended the Flood Mitigation Board meeting. He's a member, actually. I attended to listen in and to talk a little bit more about possibilities with both Elam Ditch and Sellers Ditch, which is both of those are things that the Mitigation Board has examined in the past. And because money's limited and because most of their effort and energy has been devoted to developing the cut-through project, which is nearing completion, they've had to put Sellers Ditch and Elam Ditch clean outs on the back burner. But now we're trying to bring them back to the front burner in response to the flooding problems we've had the last month and a half. Where that stands now is that the Flood Mitigation Board is directing its hydrological engineer, Frank Williams, to develop a plan with some associated estimates at cost, and to see what would be possible in the near term to help with flooding along those two ditches and what would be recommended in the long term. And I'm going to bring those to court as soon as we can get a handle on those. I know what I think everybody thinks needs to happen, but we want a more formal presentation and a better idea at costs. I do know that we've been advised, I believe Kenny Garrett sent me a note yesterday about some possible grant opportunities, and we're going to be exploring those through the Flood Mitigation Board. But a good part of me does not want to wait on federal grants to help solve this problem. The grant process could last into next spring, and by then it might be too late to really address the problem we know we have right now, but I'll keep everybody posted on that. With that, I would like to take.
Brad, if I could say one more thing. Steve Gold did give me the literature and information on all the ditches. I think she may have sent it to Beth. I will send it to all the other magistrates. If you didn't get it, I'll send it out. Sort of educational for us to see where we came from on those things. And
It is.
I think next is a motion to.
We need a motion to go into recess until
noon. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion from Magistrate McCollum, a second by Magistrate Moran to go into recess until noon. If at all possible, please rejoin this Zoom meeting. You can use the same invitation you got before to click back into the Zoom meeting. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, we will see you at noon.
Bruce, I'm sorry. It just was every time.
Coming out of recess now, I'll entertain a motion from one of the magistrates to come out of recess.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion by Magistrate Putman, a second by Magistrate Berry to come out of recess. We are waiting on Casey Phillips from the county clerk's office to come up with the final count. She should be here any moment. So while we wait, I encourage everybody just hold your horses for a moment. While we wait on this again, it should be up any second now.
While we're waiting, if I could apologize to all the other magistrates, I neglected to talk to you all ahead of time. This got on a fast track, and you know my compulsive behavior problems. I just went after it with the gusto. So I want to apologize for not taking the time to talk to you all and explaining what I was doing. About a year or two ago, I talked to Brad about it. So, but you know, I should have done it, but it just hit me at the last minute, and I'm mad at myself for waiting so long. So anyway, that's life in the big city, I guess.
Hello? Oh, okay. Sorry.
My wife will be letting this over, so that's a good.
Oh, I'm sure. I bet you guys were out all weekend.
Well, she wasn't out. David announced it.
And for those of you who are just joining us, we are out of recess, and we are waiting for the final tally of signatures on this petition to be brought up to my office And we're expecting that to happen any moment.
You're muting it. Oh, wait, you just muted it.
Just so everybody watching knows, the signatures were turned in on several sheets. Not all of them were completed, so it may delay things just a bit to go through all the sheets and count. So bear with us. Again, for those of you checking in on Facebook Live, we are waiting for the final tally of votes on the petition to place the Commission Form of County Government on the November ballot to come up here and be reported to us by the county clerk's office. So thanks for your patience. Should be arriving any moment.
You know, I should have done it, but it just
Okay, Casey Phillips from the County Clerk's Office is bringing them right now. Give us the total,
The total was 1,043 signatures.
1,043. Okay, thank you.
That's the total one. Oh, they're all separate where we added, I had somebody double check me.
Okay.
So
1,043 on the petition to put the county commissioner form of government on the ballot in November. It is short of the required 1,200. Master McCollum, do you have any issues with the count or want to challenge the count?
I have no issues whatsoever, that's actually a little more than I thought we had. I thought we might hit 1,000, so no, I have no questions about it whatsoever.
1,043 was the final total, so the petition is dismissed. With that, I'll entertain.
Thank you very much.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Master Barry, a second by Master Putman. All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you for waiting.
Thank you, everyone.
That was close, Charlie.
Thank you.
Good.
For